Here we go. All right, let's meet back on our mats, laying down, bent knees, pads of the feet planted, just like we do. I got a new mat, this Manduka mat on sale, and it's like half the thickness of my regular purple mat. So you can see it's gonna bubble up a lot. Oh, to be a big girl on a tiny yoga mat. Meeting here. Once you get settled, let the arms fall where they may comfortably. Maybe it's out wide. Heck, maybe it's up overhead. I really enjoy that, especially if I'm tired, sweeping my arms up overhead, resting them gently, opening up through the armpits. You might soften through those armpits, open up through the heart center by taking a deep breath into the chest, and then a nice slow exhale as it feels good to you. A few more breaths just into that heart space, and then let it go. We're just going to invite into our practice, to our time on the mat, an openness, a willingness to explore our body, our sensations, the things that bubble up in our mind. We give ourselves permission to explore them today without judgment, without deciding if they're enough or not enough. Because spoiler alert, they are. With each exhale, feel the body grow heavy into the earth. You might relax the legs a little bit, feel the weight of your legs press down through the pads of your feet. You might feel your low back grow heavy, the shoulders soften into the earth, the neck relaxes. And as your neck softens, as your tongue finds a gentle home in your mouth, you might feel the back of your head grow heavy. What does it feel like? Maybe with eyes closed or gaze softened. What does it feel like? The back of your head gently resting in the earth. Cradled and held, all the busyness up there. Gently weighted down into the earth to soften, to be. Here we are. We'll find a little movement to warm up the hips. We'll just take a gentle knee sway back and forth. Just small, keeping the pads of the feet planted. We're just waking up the low back, waking up the hip sockets. And then let that sway grow. So maybe as the knees relax down towards the earth, you're coming up onto the edges of your feet. And as the sway of your knees grows, let the motion slow. Be really intentional about it. So intentional, maybe you move with the breath. I like to inhale as my knees rise, exhale as they lower. And then as you're lowering your knees on those exhales, soften through the low belly, soften through the inner and outer thighs. Slow down that exhale as much as you would like to really melt into that release. Just a gentle knee sway. On your next inhale, pause with them skyward. We're going to heel toe them out. Mat width apart, maybe even wider if you're like me and you've got wide hips. And then once more, move with the breath. You might notice how differently this feels with the feet widened. Maybe it's easier to let the knees soften towards the earth. Maybe you give them a little gentle press, a little help as you lower them on down. Beautiful. On an inhale, pause with those knees skyward. We're going to bring both knees in towards one another, coming up onto the inside blade edges of your feet, almost like you want to press your inner thighs down into the earth. And notice where you feel this. For me, I'm feeling it in my outer hips, my inner thighs, a little bit in my knees. And so if you are, soften that up a little bit, right? We don't have to press so hard our thighs into the earth. Sometimes when we soften and we bring ease, the body has an easier time meeting us where we are. There's trust that's built there. All right, when you're ready, open those knees up wide, heel toe them together. Option here to open up the hips by bringing the pads of the feet together, the knees out wide. And if this doesn't feel comfortable to you, for some folk, this is an enjoyable way to spend time. You might lift one knee and simply do one at a time. So decide how you would like to be here. But if you're doing it one side, note that I'll cue you to switch. So softening those thighs open, letting the knees hang heavy, one or both, down towards the earth. You might even press the balls of your feet, the toes together, letting the heels separate just a little bit as those knees relax. And then let's warm up the head. So laying here, we're going to draw little circles on the ceiling with our nose. And so maybe the size of an apple or a tea saucer. We're just drawing little circles on the ceiling. And if your arms are up overhead, I might invite you to I might invite you to widen them out, making space for the whole of the head as you draw these little circles. You might feel the back of the head rotating round as the nose draws on the ceiling. And then let those circles grow. Grow and grow as much as feels comfortable. And maybe they grow so large that as you make these circles, you're gently tucking the chin in towards the chest, pressing your nose out towards the wall behind you. These big rotating circles. Our hair's going to get real messy today. And then when you're ready with jaw relaxed, switch directions. You can even press more firmly the back of the head down into the earth and get it a massage there on that occipital bone at the back of the head. There are a ton of muscles that connect there. And so we can warm up the neck, massage the back of the head, win-win. Go ahead and switch sides with those legs if you are in a one-sided bound angle. And then go ahead and let the neck soften here. From here, we're going to bring our left arm across our body and give it a little hug. And then, so just as much as you would like to, and we could do this stretch sitting up, right? This looks familiar. Maybe you walk that right hand all the way over to the shoulder and give it a little embrace here. Maybe you just take it at the elbow or the forearm. We want to leave plenty of room to breathe. And we don't want to squeeze too close to the neck, because what we're going to do here, if it feels right, is lift the head, turn your gaze on over towards the left. So the left arm reaches across the body, and now our face turns on over towards the left. As much or as little feels good here. And then let those shoulder blades relax. Let them open up, softening into the earth. Let the neck grow heavy. Even that space between your eyebrows softens as that left ear droops. When you're ready, pick up your head, turn it back to neutral, release that arm, switch sides. First, we embrace the arm, finding our cozy spot, and then lift the head. And we do this to be gentle and intentional with our neck. Our cervical spine is powerful and delicate. And the rotation of your neck relies on one singular vertebra. And so we choose to be really mindful and honor that with our movement, with our awareness. Let the jaw relax here. Relaxing even the nose on your face. What would it feel like to relax and soften your nose? And then when you're ready, lifting the head, turning it back to neutral, releasing that arm. Let's bring our knees skyward. Ooh, maybe you give your knees a little sway. I like to squeeze my knees together when I sway and do this. It just brings that stretch up into the mid-low back. All right, finding stillness. Grab your block. Here comes our work. So we're going to set this block by our side because I lied. We have one other thing to do before then. So from here, with the block handy, because that is next, my friend, you're going to walk your heels up towards your glutes so that you can really plant firmly the pads of those feet and we have a lot of control. Now you might lift your toes up off the mat, stretch them wide, 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 and then relax them, let them soften back down into the earth. For a moment here, you might close your eyes and bring your awareness to your tailbone. In your mind's eye, can you imagine your tailbone? Now begin to press into your feet. Feel the legs start to engage and the tailbone curl up towards the ceiling just by pressing into the pads of our feet. Let those butt cheeks relax just for now, not forever. We're just pressing into the pads of our feet, curling our tailbone in, feeling the low back lengthen here. And you might, as we hold this, as the low back lengthens, you might lengthen up in the neck as well by simply pressing the back of the neck into the earth, feeling the chin sort of naturally tuck down into the heart. And so that gentle but firm pressure, curling that tailbone in, the gentle but firm pressure, softening the back of the neck into the earth. We're stretching out our back body. And then relax both sides. Beautiful. So for this work that we're doing, we are strengthening the muscles that support our hips and low back here, but we're also softening and loosening the psoas. It's this big band of muscle that attaches the low spine to the legs and hips. It holds us together. And the psoas loves us, right? The psoas responds to us emotionally. And when we are stressed out, when we are scared, when we are worried or angry, our psoas shortens and tightens. It says, my friend needs me and I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm going to hold you together so that you don't have to worry about holding yourself together. That's what our psoas does because it freaking loves us. And here we are, strengthening the muscles around the psoas and then lightly contracting and releasing it, contracting and releasing it so that psoas can soften and lengthen and trust the other supporting muscles around it. Therefore, releasing a lot of our tension, chronic tension, that hip trauma, right, that we hold here in the body. So my speech is over. Let's go ahead and move. I can't move and talk at the same time, y'all. On an exhale once more, press into the pads of the feet, curl the tailbone up. This time maybe a little harder, maybe the glutes engage, maybe that tailbone lightly floats above the earth, but we're not lifting the low back. Breathe here. And then on an inhale, let go, release, let the low back melt. We're going to move the opposite direction now. And on an inhale, pressing the tailbone down into the earth, we arch the low back. And you'll notice here that now instead of the pressure in the pads of the feet, because there almost is none, right? You could almost lift your feet up and let them float, keeping that back arch. Now the pressure's up in the shoulders and the back of the head. So the pressure, the supporting pressure shifts from top to bottom as we curl the tailbone up and down. And so let's do that together with the breath. A deep inhale with this low back arched, the belly rises, tailbone pressing into the earth. And then as you exhale, curl it in, pressing through the pads of the feet. Inhale, arch the back, feel the belly rise. Exhale, curl it in. And moving with your breath, notice that pressure shift from shoulders to the pads of your feet, right? Back and forth. The supporting pressure of your body as we strengthen the low back and hips and release the psoas. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead and give it a rest here for a moment. If we want to get into a diagonal or SI joints, little hint, you can try this at home by extending one leg long and then doing those same arch and flatten, right? So that's going to get up if you have hip pain or hip tightness. But for now, go ahead and grab your block, your book, your rolled up blanket and place it between your knees. And I'm placing it on the thinnest side between my knees, just as a holder so that I can squeeze my knees together with confidence and have a little space between them. So from here, really important to walk those heels up towards the glutes. Feel that firm foundation in the pads of the feet. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're going to come into a bridge pose. So I'm really pressing the backs of my arms into the earth. My chest pops out skyward. Deep breath into my belly. And then on an exhale, we're going to squeeze that block together and gently lift through the hips by driving into the pads of our feet. And maybe the tailbone lifts, maybe it doesn't, maybe it hovers and floats. All of this is beautiful. We are working the same muscles no matter where our booty is at. On an exhale of your choice, lower on down, nice and slow, that tailbone on the earth. And then let's move with the breath. So a deep inhale into the belly when you're ready. Exhale, drive through the feet, lift those hips as much as you would like. Hold for 3 breaths wherever you are, pressing down to the pads of the feet, squeezing that block in. And then on an exhale of your choice, lowering on down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Take a breath or 2, readjust those shoulders, those arms, find your strong foundation. Deep breath in when you're ready. Exhale, lift and hold. And maybe you press a little harder into the pads of the feet. Maybe you feel that tailbone rising, that pelvis rising towards the ceiling. On an exhale of your choice, lower down nice and slow. We've got 1 more of these bad boys. Take a deep breath when you're ready. Exhale, float on up as much or as little as your body is asking for today. Another breath or so at your pace, and then on an exhale, slowly lower on down. How slow can you lower this time? Before that low back softens into the earth, your glutes release, your legs stop holding that death grip on that block. All right, from here, we're going to hold that block, set it aside. We're not done with it yet. We'll come back to it. We're going to do our arch and flattens again, but this time we're going to grab a strap, and maybe you don't need a strap for this. You can decide. For me, I'm going to place my strap behind my left knee and then hold it in. And what this is doing is it's just creating some ease to bring my knee up towards my chest. And maybe once you get it there, you're like, the strap isn't really necessary. And maybe you really enjoy that connection. If you've never tried it with a strap, go for it. We're just pulling that left knee up in towards the heart center. You can even press into the pad of your right foot as a helper for this. Maybe a point and a flex, some ankle circles, just to love on those ankles. If you're doing those circles, go ahead and switch directions. And then with this knee up in towards the heart center, we're going to do those arch and flattens yet again. So a deep breath in. Arches the low back. Notice how my knee pulls away from my body. This is natural, whether I'm holding onto the strap or not. As my belly takes up space, the low back arches, my shoulders on the back of my head pressing down into the earth to support my body. And then exhale, curl it in. The knee comes up towards the heart center. Beautiful. Moving with your breath if you would like. Inhale, arch the low back. Exhale, curl the tailbone skyward. 3 or so more breaths on this side. Again, this is great for one-sided back pain or hip pain, SI joint issues. Beautiful. On an inhale, drop that left leg, switch sides. Right leg comes in towards the chest. Find some ankle circles. Give that foot some love. Point and flex if you'd like. And then when you're ready, inhale, arch that low back, press the tailbone down. It's okay if it feels weird and uncomfortable. Exhale, pull it in, arch or curl the low back. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, we curl the tailbone in towards the heart. Back and forth, 3 or so more times. And then on your next inhale, drop that leg down. One of the ways that we can tell how our psoas is doing is by laying down on the earth. And so let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to straighten those legs out. Let the low back soften. And if as you lay here flat, if this low back lifts off the earth, or if it feels like there's a tightness, a pulling here, that's a sign that our psoas is still short, pulling the low back up as the lower portion of our psoas is stretched and lengthened. The more work that we do with this arch and flatten, the more at ease our psoas is, and the less our low back lifts as we lay. All right, bend those knees once more. Grab that brick. This time we're going to place it between our feet, and you might roll up to place it beneath your feet. You might just bring your feet together and then plant them. So the thinnest part of the block, you might have it on the long ways on the ground. You might have it tall ways propped up. It doesn't matter. The important part is it's between our feet. Once more, we're going to find bridges. So instead of scooting my heels up towards my glutes, because I've got a block, I'm going to scoot my glutes down towards my feet. And then prepping for the bridge, we shimmy those shoulders together, chest lifts, the back of the arms plant firmly. Maybe you like these robot arms, maybe you leave them on your belly. A deep breath into the body. And then as you exhale, keep the knees tracked skyward. There's no block to squeeze anymore. It's just between our feet. Let the pelvis lift as much or as little as you would like. Hold for one more breath, and then exhale, lower it nice and slow. All right, let the low back, let the glutes relax. A deep breath into the belly. Exhale, lift into bridge one more time. The closer that our feet are together, the more the outsides of our hips engage in a bridge posture. And when the outsides of your hips engage, you are strengthening all of those muscles that help release those deep, tight thickums that support us, right? Go ahead and lower. Shake it out, wiggle it out, let it all go. The release is as important as the effort. The letting go is as important as the showing up. They are of equal value. Our life requires both of them. On an inhale, fill the belly. On an exhale, rise one last time. Hold for 3 breaths or as many breaths as your body is inviting you to. Maybe 1, maybe 5. Maybe the body shakes a little bit. Let it shake. As long as there's no pain here, no sharpness, no lingering sensation, when you're ready, lower, release, let go. Let's kick this block gently aside. Beautiful. Grab our strap. We're going to bring both knees up in towards the chest. And again, you might grab the outsides of your knees. I really enjoy just using a strap. From here, feel that low back lengthen even more. You might make space between your knees for your belly, so widening those knees out as you invite them up towards the heart center. And then maybe a gentle rock here, left and right, side to side. It's like a free low back massage. I like free. I like massages. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Wonderful. Let's step into our strap now. So whether you use a strap for this or not is up to you. We're going to lengthen both legs skyward and then pressing through the heel, flexing the toes towards the heart. And a strap is really nice here because you can place the balls of your feet in it and then get a little pushback, right? A little traction. It engages the arms, it engages the whole of the legs. So we're pressing through the heels, flexing the toes towards the heart, lengthening those hamstrings, and then reverse it, point those toes hard. A little point and flex, maybe with the breath. Inhale, suck those toes in towards the heart. Exhale, blow them away. Inhale. I guess no one really wants to suck their toes into their mouths, but you know what I mean, y'all. Beautiful. We come into happy baby here. Now we're widening the legs out, right? My legs are out wide, bending my knees in towards my armpit. So there's plenty of space for my belly. And the pads of my feet are in alignment with the ceiling as I bend the knees out towards my armpit, lowering them towards the floor. So you might use the strap here. You might enjoy grabbing your toes or the outsides of your feet, making plenty of space for the body. And then happy baby, because it stretches the low back so deeply, is another one where it just feels so good to roll around. And so roll around maybe. Maybe you see where you can roll to. All right. Release those legs out, planting the pads of the feet once more. So the last thing that we're going to try is incredibly challenging, but it is a wonderful somatic release for deep chronic hip tension and low back tension. And it looks like this. So we're going to find that bound angle again, if it feels good, right? If not, remain with your feet planted. So if you like, pads of the feet together, knees out wide, and then we are going to prep for another bridge posture. So tucking the heels in towards the groin as far as that feels good. We're going to shimmy the shoulder blades together, planting the back of the arms, popping that chest out. Take a deep breath into your body. And then as you exhale, you're going to press down into the outsides of your feet. You're going to clench your butt cheeks and imagine pressing your pelvis skyward. And maybe those hips lift and hover just a little bit, right? It's not a whole lot that we're rising. Maybe you just feel the weight of your hips lighten against the earth as you engage those glutes and imagine pressing that pelvis skyward. Another deep breath here as you float, and then on an exhale, lower on down. And as you lower, let those inner thighs soften, let those knees relax, open towards the earth. Beautiful. Again, because of the work that we're doing, our letting go, our time of releasing here does as much as our time of effort. So let's do this 3 more times. Deep breath into the belly as you feel led. And then as you exhale, pressing the outsides of the feet down, pressing the pads of the feet together. We engage the glutes. We squeeze those butt cheeks. We imagine our pelvis rising towards the ceiling. And you can really press into the outsides of your feet until the upper back lifts off the earth, or remain here. All roads are powerful. When you're ready, lower on down, release all effort from the arms, from the legs, the inner thighs, the low belly. Relax even your face, your tongue, your ears. And then let's get ready 2 more times. Wrapping for our bridge posture. On an inhale, fill that belly, fill that chest deep. As you exhale, squeeze those glutes, rise as much or as little as your body calls you to today. Maybe you hang out here for a breath, maybe 3, maybe 5. Ask your body where it wants to be today and let that be enough. Knowing that the real reward is in honoring that. On an exhale, if you haven't, drop it low, release everything. Let it go. The frustration, the worry, the am I good enough, the can I get enough done, the am I loved, we let it all go. We let it all go and we settle into the truth, the reality that, yeah, as long as we are showing up in our truth, as long as we are showing up authentically, as long as we are trusting our body and moving with love, what more could we ask from ourselves? All right, a deep breath in when you're ready, prepping for your last one. It's going to be the longest one that you let yourself do. On an exhale, rise up tall. Squeeze those glutes, squeeze them as that pelvis rises. Relax the jaw. You've got this. Letting those hips float down anytime the body is asking you to, or holding if that's what the body is asking. We can ask for power and we can ask for rest. If you haven't yet, you might let those hips float down, release, relax, let it go one last time. Anything and everything the body releases, relaxing down into the earth, cradled in stillness for a moment. All righty. When you are ready, we're going to sweep those knees up skyward, heel toe the feet out wide, 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 and then let the knees fall towards one another yet again. We've been here before. Maybe get a little sway in the knees, finding some intuitive movement that honors that low back area. It's a lot of work we've been doing for the low back and hips. All righty. When the time feels right, heel toeing those feet back together, you can roll over to your side body and press yourself up into a seat, or you might bring those knees in or use a strap and roll up. And it can be playful and messy, right? Sometimes I like to get a really good rock into it, letting it be what it is. And then grabbing your blanket, grabbing your bolster. Let's take a seat up on it. Pulling your pants back up or taking them off because who cares? No one can see. Let's find a seat. I'm going to choose Sukhasana, this cross-legged posture. But honestly, Sukhasana is one of my least favorite postures because my knees talk to me in it. And so if that is you today, wherever your knees are, keep them there and then extend the legs out. So we're still getting this nice gentle opening here, but we're honoring our knees, plenty of space for the belly. So wherever you decide to be, find your cozy spot. And then let's orient our body. We've been laying down, now we're sitting up, and our energy is asking a little something different from us. So as we sit, we want to honor our body by also rising. So on an inhale, Seek that length by pressing through the top of the head. And then on an exhale of your choice, keeping the length, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw, let the belly soften here. And you might just breathe each inhale, rising with that energy, each exhale, grounding and releasing. And then if you close your eyes or let your gaze diffuse, can you allow your mind to travel down into your butt cheeks, your sits bones? Can you feel them press down into the blanket, this firm foundation, this energetic connection? On your next exhale, can you feel your energy pressing down through those cheeks, through those sits bones, connecting with the earth? One of the most powerful ways to regulate our nervous system is co-regulation. And you can legitimately co-regulate with the Earth's nervous system by simply touching it and taking a moment to feel that connection, that grounding down. All right, let's find a little movement here. So on an inhale, sweep the arms out in front of you, pressing through those fingertips. We're going to take it as high as the arms will let us. And then exhale, turn the palms out, lower them down by your sides. So inhale, pressing long. Exhale, lower. 3 or so more times at your own pace, with your own breath. Each inhale is an opportunity to rise tall with that energy through the whole of the body. Each exhale, we release those shoulders. We feel our sits bones ground into the earth. And then let's reverse that. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, press them out in front. Feeling the length of your arms here as you do. Let's do this twice more. Beautiful. Once more, inhale, sending the arms out and up. And then let's take a little twist. So exhale, opposite hand, opposite knee. And you might place this back hand on the earth behind you, reclining back. That can be nice because it leaves room for the belly atop the thigh. If you want to remain upright, you can leave your hand at your low back in this twist or place a block at your low back. So however you want to be here, our hands become anchors for this twist. So pressing the palms in, we're using it to turn the heart center. And then our gaze, our eyes follow that same direction. Feel each inhale inviting length through the spine. Notice if you release your full breath, every drop of your exhale, how that feels in this twist. Maybe it gives you more room to release. Maybe it doesn't. And then on an inhale of your choice, release back to neutral. That's a lot of effort. All right, shake it out. And then on your next breath in, sweep the arms out and up as you exhale. Opposite side for that twist. Rising tall with the inhale. Surrendering on each exhale. Noticing what your body is asking for. Choosing our bodies over our egos in yoga is my personal most powerful practice. On an inhale of your choice, go ahead and release. Let's find some forward fold. So extending the right leg long, we're going to bring the pad of the left foot in towards the inside of the left thigh. And then we want to fold over top this thigh. 2 choices. Sometimes I like to lift my belly up atop the thigh and then turn my heart center to align with it. Sometimes I like to tuck my belly in and then turn my heart center, but it ends up being a bit more of a twist, if that makes sense. So play with it. We learn these postures in our body by meeting ourselves here again and letting it be messy until our personal forms figure out how we want to do this. So make a choice. Let it be wrong. Let it be right. On an inhale, find that length. On an exhale, we're going to bring the belly and the heart forward. And then you might press through the heel, flex these toes towards the heart as you walk your hands down that leg. This can be nice. Maybe you grab those toes and then the arms help lengthen the spine. You can also, if you have that strap handy, find the strap along the ball of the foot. It's going to help flex it back towards the body. And just use the arms or use the strap to extend the length of the arms. Maybe you go strapless and you're just hanging out, palms on the shin. Beautiful. On an exhale, you might soften the forehead, the top of the head down towards the earth. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, you're first going to press down through the heel of this extended leg. This engages the whole of the leg and begins to engage the low back. And then on your next breath in, using the engagement of that leg, walk the hands up the body, rise up. Anytime we're in a fold, we tend to lift ourselves up with all of the muscles of our low back, which can cause a strain. So if we're pressing down into the earth with these engaged legs, it allows us to rise with more ease and integrity in the body. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So extending the left leg long, bending that right knee in, and then maybe you try your belly the same way that you did on the other side. Maybe you want to try something different, but on an inhale, find that length. Exhale, melt it. As much or as little feels good. You might notice if this side feels different than the other. Maybe you have a little more ease, maybe a little less. For me, it is way less. Maybe you grab that strap or grab the feet to pull length into the spine. Maybe you soften the forehead down towards the earth, making a little C shape here. An extra little stretch in the body. And then on an inhale, pressing down into that leg, rise up tall. Okay, we're going to do some pretty intense hip work. We did some 90-90 last week. We're going to meet ourselves there again today. So from 90-90, we're going to keep this right knee bent, leave it just like this. It's beautiful. We're going to sweep our left leg out towards the left. So you might hang out here. This is already quite a hip opener, just like this. You might bend this left knee, planting the inside of the heel on the earth and sweeping it back behind you. So here we are in 90-90. And again, you might change out this leg halfway through. Our goal is just to listen to the requests of our personal form. For me, it is always this outside hip that feels the most tension, like I can't quite bend that deep into it. And that is all right. So whichever hip is feeling the effort, we're going to bolster the opposite hip. So right now I have a bolster under each side. I'm going to remove it from underneath this side and place it only up underneath my right side. So I'm sitting my right butt cheek on it. My left butt cheek is hanging in the air. And what this does is it brings a little ease. And if it doesn't bring enough ease, grab another blanket, set it up underneath your right hip. So from here, we're going to take a forward fold. On an inhale, sweep those arms out and up. As you exhale, we're going to curl the spine, drop the arms in front of us. We're going to take this C shape. So you might plant the hands. You might plant them on blocks if you've got blocks in front of you to bring a little ease. From wherever we are, we're going to walk our hands out, lowering our heart. And I'm just going to make space for my belly here by tucking it atop my thigh. Lower as much or as little as you like. Release the belly and the heart as you melt. Maybe you keep that C shape, maybe you don't. Breathe and soften. And then maybe you walk your hands on over towards the right a little bit, as much as the body invites you to. Maybe you walk your hands on over towards the left. With your hands on over towards the left, can you relax that left inner thigh down into the earth? Walk your hands back to neutral, and then when you're ready, walk them back towards the body. Rise up tall. We're going to grab our block. We're going to place it on our right side, and we're going to place our palm atop it, fingers pointing away from the body. From here, we're going to open up through the hips all the way through the rib cage and the shoulders. So on an inhale, we sweep this left arm open. Our eyes follow these left fingertips. Exhale, we're going to curl it in, and maybe we even sweep those fingertips under this open arm. So inhale, sweep it back. The heart follows. Exhale, curl it in. Big full breaths, letting the breath be a boon here as we exhale. Maybe you tuck your belly button in just to help with this closed twist. Back and forth. 2 or 3 more times at your own pace. And then on your next inhale, rise up tall. We're going to switch sides. So coming into Dandasana or staff pose, I'm going to pull my bolster completely out from underneath me. And we can find 90-90 a different way. Right leg swings out towards the right. There are all different ways to find this in our body. Left leg, we're going to bend that left knee, planting the outside of the ankle against the earth. And you might leave it here in sort of a pigeon pose. You might protect the knee joint by tucking the pad of the foot in. So this helps this hinge joint find some more alignment and ease. Maybe you hang out just like this. Maybe you bend this right knee, planting the inside of the right foot. And you'll note that sensation is back, right? It really gets the inside of my knee to hang out here. And so I'm going to grab the bolster, place it up underneath the opposite hip of sensation. Just like that. So here we are in our 90-90, and then an option to fold here. So inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, walk the heart and belly forward. And like I said, maybe you tuck it in, maybe you don't. Folding as much or as little as your personal form says yes to today. Maybe you walk your hands on over towards the left. Really relaxing that, or towards the right, excuse me, or left, whatever. Relaxing the inner thigh down towards the earth. And then walk your hands the opposite direction. For me, I like to notice how much easier it is one way than the other. And maybe it feels the same for you. Just different ways to notice and witness our body. Walk those hands back to neutral and then walk them right back up tall. Grabbing your block, fingertips pointed away from the body. We find that deep opening twist. On an exhale, close it up. Let the heart be the lead here. Almost like we forget about the fingertips of this right hand and we're just moving our heart center. 2 or 3 more times at your own pace. And then on an inhale, we rise tall and strong. Beautiful. I'm going to pull my bolster out from beneath me. Find Dandasana one more time. From here, we'll take a seated fold in Baddha Konasana. So pads of the feet together. Knees out wide. We've spent a fair time doing this today. We're going to walk the heels towards the groin as much as feels good. Now, because I'm not sitting up on a bolster, I'm going to keep my heels further away from my body to make room for my belly. If I were up on a bolster, I might bring them in a little closer. So if you want to get up on your bolster or your blanket, do that. Otherwise, we find height again, right? Before we fold, we invite all of that length. And then on an exhale of your choice, you might walk the hands down the legs, let the belly and the heart fall forward. You might even use your hands as a gentle anchor to pull the belly and the heart forward. I like to squeeze my shoulder blades back as I'm doing this, just a gentle heart opener. And then some folks enjoy bending the elbows and pressing them into the inner thigh. Hang out where feels good. For me, this is like a low back and hip stretch. And my goal is this length pressing forward and my belly reaching down. Beautiful. On an inhale, rise up tall. Wonderful. We're going to meet back on our backs for just a few minutes to end our practice. Some big twists that we've been looking forward to. So set aside your bolster, set aside your block. You might keep your strap handy and meet me on your back. So once more, let those shoulder blades relax. Feel the pads of your feet firmly planted. Let the arms rest where they feel powerful and supported. Feel the length of your spine from your tailbone. Follow the spine up into the low back, the mid back. Can you travel with the spine up between the shoulder blades, letting them soften for a moment? Up into the neck and the throat. They relax, growing heavy. And then from here, maybe you grab your strap, maybe you don't, but we invite the knees once more up towards the heart center. You can do that one at a time. It really helps. I'm pressing into the pad of my right foot as I lift my left knee. Like it just does, man. Make it so much easier. So inviting those knees up in towards the chest. Maybe you find a gentle sway once more. And then we're going to take this into a deep twist. So rolling both knees together on over towards the left. And you might grab that bolster or blanket and place it up underneath here, just to be kind to the low back. You might place it between the knees. So many good things. And then maybe you experiment with teeing the arms out wide, 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 wide. Maybe you sweep them up overhead. I really enjoy doing a little snow angel or two here and just asking my arms where they want to be, maybe even not symmetrical. We give ourselves freedom to explore without judgment, and that freedom builds trust between mind and body, between body and soul. Let those shoulder blades relax with each exhale, and then two options here. You might want to bring your neck into this, and we've already done a ton of neck work, so it's up to you. If you'd like, lifting the head, turning your eyes in the opposite direction of your knees, and then resting the head back down, relaxing through the shoulders once more, the neck, the jaw. And then if we're still looking for some sensation in this twist, and you might be, We can take our top leg here, keeping the knees together, pinned, and then extend that top leg long, pointing through the toe. This just increases the range of motion of our twist in that low back. Breathe here for as long as the body is asking you. This is your practice, and there's no pressure to move or be anywhere that doesn't bring you delight and embodiment. When you feel led, we're going to turn our face back skyward, roll those knees back up towards the ceiling. Maybe give it a little rock and roll one more time before letting them sink into a twist on the opposite side. Finding a home that feels good to your arms and shoulders. Maybe you lift the head, turn it opposite the knees, relax the whole upper body. Maybe you extend that top leg long. Maybe you don't. Be where your body asks. Explore with curiosity. And with each exhale, release and let go from the low belly, the outer hips, the inner thighs, calves, your toes. If you soften and your body shifts and moves, let it. That's okay. In this moment, we're here more for the letting go and the letting be than making any specific shape. In your own time, you might rotate your head back up to neutral, sweep those knees skyward once more. We'll do a quick half happy baby. I call it half happy baby because we're just going to grab the insides of our thighs, right, behind the knees, and then just pull up towards the heart center. So this makes plenty of space for the belly. This opens up the inner and outer hips. I like a little roll anytime I do things like this. And then when you're ready, if and when, we'll take a minute or two in Shavasana here. For your corpse pose, for your final posture, your effort is nothingness. And so you might extend the arms and legs out. Maybe you hang out back in that reclined Baddha Konasana bound angle. Maybe you grab pillows and a blanket and curl up into a sweet little ball. There is no wrong way to spend Shavasana. It's powerful enough just to choose to be here. Everything that comes after that is a gift. Soften the shoulder blades. Relax the backs of your arms, your forearms. Let the palms of your hands soften and spread along with your fingertips. Can you feel your fingertips relaxing? Can you feel any temperatures with your fingertips as they relax? Maybe a coolness or a warmth. Maybe they feel tingly, floaty. Maybe they feel still. Let that stillness, that softness trickle down into the neck, the shoulders once more. The heart melts into the earth, receiving that same softness that you felt in the fingertips. A deep inhale into the low belly, and a soft, slow exhale brings release to the low back, the hips, the thighs. We melt, we let go of our knees and our calves. We let our ankles soften and our toes relax. Can you feel your toes fully relax? Is there a temperature your toes can feel? Any sensation of that sweet relaxation in your toes? And then as we lay here for a minute more, in the most powerful posture we can take in our practice, we allow the mind to center on the breath, knowing that even as we release every single muscle, every single ounce of effort in the body, even as we let it all go, that the body is never fully still, that there is always an ebb and flow within us. And if we allow our mind in these still places to notice that ebb and flow, the inhale and the exhale, the expansion and release, it's in this place that the real healing of our nervous system kicks in, where the depth of trust with body is built in these still, small, quiet places. Remain here for as long as you like. But when you feel led, you might curl the toes on your feet. Curl them firm, firm, firm. You might even feel the leg muscles engage as you curl your toes in hard. And then release any effort from the toes. Let the legs relax. Let's do that again with the toes, curling them in tight, 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 tight. Curl and hold, hold, and then release the toes, release the legs. Let's bring the hands into this. So as you curl the toes in, maybe you make gentle fists, maybe firm fists if that feels good. Arms and the legs engage fully, and then release the hands, release the toes. Let even the shoulders and the butt cheeks soften into the earth. Once more, curling the toes, curling the fists, this time stretching the arms and the legs out long as they comfortably reach. And then soften every effort to let go, melt into the earth. And then you might continue to awaken your form with some intuitive movement. So a stretching, a rolling, whatever your form says yes to today. Sometimes I like to explore things that look absolutely ridiculous just to see how they feel, right? Just to explore that movement. All of this acquaints us more deeply with self. Wild, huh? And then when you're ready, roll onto the side body, make your way up or don't, right? We've got that wild hair today. And then getting yourself situated, however feels comfortable. We'll take a moment to end our practice. And maybe you bring palms to the heart center here. This morning, I'm just going to place my palms atop my heart. And as you breathe, feel that heart expand and fill. This gentle awareness that we've cultivated through this hour, this practice of deep presence with self is only practice, but we do it so that we can move through our day, through our week, through our relationships, through our own thoughts and mind, with that same space that we hold, that same presence and embodiment, that same neutrality and compassion. Because then this practice becomes our life. Thank you for practicing with me. The light and the dark in me sees the light and the dark in you, and we are the same.